My name is Bobby Dillon, co-founder of Dystopic Entertainment.
I'm Matt Brown, co-founder of Dystopic Entertainment.
And we made Dark Lord.
And we made Dark Lord.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty phenomenal. You should check it out. Well, I mean, you are, but you know, you should thoroughly check it out.
I think first and foremost, our design philosophy, if you will, has always been just to make a game that us and our friends would want to play. We wanted to make something that would appeal to us, like if we were to just walk into a game shop right off the street, you know, and they were playing Dark Lord over at a table, this is definitely something that we would say, wow. One of the things we always thought we would bring to the table that a lot of other, you know, hardcore tabletop games wouldn't is a sort of simplicity in its mechanics, and a simplicity meaning it's easy to pick up, you know, but it's not something that you'll master the game ever, but it's something that, you know, it's something that your mom could play, and it's something that the most hardcore gamer you know would want to play, you know what I mean? It's a bridge between the hardcore and the casual, in a way. It's bringing together two disparate worlds, really.
Bobby and I got together right out of college. Pretty much, we were buddies. We started hanging out, and we said, "Hey, you know, we should get into making games and stuff." We didn't have much experience with board games and tabletops, and we were kind of intimidated jumping into all these crazy games out there. We're pretty complicated people. We work really well together, you know. So why not try our hand at this? We set in motion the game right away, Dark Lord. Went in through a bunch of just little minor versions trying to figure out exactly what we were trying to do with it. We saw Dark Lord as a challenge. We pretty much started with a blank slate in our head.
Oddly enough, our lack of experience helped us in a couple ways. I mean, we were able to do something that sort of exists within its own little world. It's not something that is copy-pasted from you know, all the other intense hardcore tabletops out there.
And we asked ourselves, what kind of game can we create? How amazing can it be? And, you know, can we accomplish it? And over the past, 13 months, we have done that. We have done exactly that.
At the very beginning, each player picks his or her lord. There are 12 different lords spread out across 3 classes, so there's 4 for each class. Once you've done the initial setup, you go about playing the game, which is all about controlling tiles and making smart use of the resources that you have available. Essentially, the main goal is to wipe every other player and all of their units off the board completely. There are lots of ways you can go about doing that. There's specific dice rolling type combat. So we have roughly 130 unique cards within, and some of those are class specific, some of those are available to all players. So the idea is you use your cards as well as board position in order to gain leverage and then eventually build up enough momentum to wipe your opponents off the board.
So now the way you go about that is entirely, I mean, you know, that's simple enough to say. Mm-hmm. Chances are you're going to have someone come out on top, or at least start to come out on top. The other players are going to get really frustrated and start going after them. You have an underdog that's just going to kind of sit back, kind of take advantage of the situation. You can definitely maintain from start to begin, or start to end, and win, but it's not very likely. Chances are you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to create some enemies early on. You're going to get greedy. You're not going to play your cards correctly.
One of the best things really about Dark Lord is that you're not just playing the board, you know. you're playing your friends. You're going to make enemies, and you're going to make them mad.
And the cool thing is, I mean, you know, following that thought, if you switch out one of your friends, say you play with the same 3 friends every single time, and you really get it going, you're like, wow, this game is really crazy. You switch out one friend, and the whole dynamic of the game is just completely changed.
We took the game to a local game shop about an hour from here on International Tabletop Day, and one of the things I really took away from that is that, you know, it was full of gamers. Like the shop was just packed. Shout out to New Game in Town for hosting us, by the way. The place was packed, and we had a couple people who were willing to try this game by just 2 unknown dudes, just pretty much off the street for all they knew. You know, we came in with this rough-looking prototype, more or less.
Yeah.
And I sat down and played it, and one of the guys was telling me just what a crappy day he'd had. He just felt he just felt terrible, and he just, you know, he didn't...
Well, I don't feel like playing
Right.
a new crappy game that some random people's...
I mean, he was not shy about saying these things.
Yeah.
And he said, and he ended up winning that night. He became the Dark Lord that night. The dude was smiling. He was having an awesome time. And that, I took a lot from that, you know what I mean? And that genuinely means a lot to me.
Absolutely. I mean, that day was just filled with, you know, like you said, just people, just random people that just happened to come in that day, see us set up with our little printouts and, you know, this rough prototype, and sit down and play it, say, yeah, all right, we'll give this a shot. It looks pretty interesting, and have a blast. I mean, and also the guy you were just talking about, at the very end, you know, after that 4-hour session of just playing and all this crazy stuff going on, we said, all right, so, you know, that's Dark Lord, thanks for playing. And he said, can I play again? Like, are you guys sticking around a little bit? And it was late at night. I mean, we got there
it was
in the
probably
afternoon.
7. Yeah, it was probably
And I
7.
was like, oh man, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we could.
I'm pretty sure the shop's
but
closing in a bit. You know?
So, I mean, just that alone, I mean, that pretty much speaks volumes of, you know, how great of a game it is. And that was an early prototype.
Yeah.
I mean, holy crap.
We have worked just so damn hard on this, you know what I mean? This thing has been played for thousands of hours at this point.
Yeah. We're literally 2 guys.
Yeah.
We turned a garage into a studio. We spent, what, 5,000, 6,000 hours pouring blood, sweat, and tears into this game. It's phenomenal. We've tested it like crazy over the past like 13 months. And it's ready. It's ready to be produced.
Ready. I'm very proud of what we've done. You know, as an individual, I feel proud of what we've managed to create. Because I know it's good. You know, I know it's good.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, basically, you know, we fund this game, we produce it, we get it out there. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
I mean, once you get this game in your hand, you open up, you play it. Game over, man. I mean, you're hooked.
Yeah.
All your friends are gonna be hooked.
It sounds like cockiness, but the thing is,
No,
we
it's not.
don't doubt that you'll like it. We know you'll like it. It's a matter of getting it into your hands, you know.
I mean, simply put, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Thank you very much for taking the time to check out this Kickstarter. It genuinely means a lot to us that you're even looking at this. We've poured so much time, so much energy into this that, no, I mean, I can't speak for Matt, but I feel like it has to come out at this point. The only way to do that is Kickstarter. It turns out producing board games is very expensive.
Yeah,
so.
It's really expensive. I mean, you know, if we had enough money to actually fund the game ourselves, this game would already be out. It'd be crazy. It'd be blowing up the world by now.
We are too indie for that.
We're too indie for that. Dark Lord is a phenomenal game. It's bound to give you hundreds of hours of enjoyment. This is a big deal to us and, you know, potentially to the rest of the world.
See, the thing is, we know the game is good. We know you'll like it. I mean, the only way that can happen, though, is through the generous, loving help of all of you. That's the only way that this is going to happen.
So thanks very much for taking interest in Dark Lord the board game. If you help us with our funding, if you pledge, you can be one of the first people to get your hands on Dark Lord, to bring it over to your friend's house, to enjoy it like crazy, and help us turn this into something bigger than just a game we've poured our lives into for the past year.
Here's a brief glimpse at the kind of things that are in store if you're willing to generously pledge. Thank you.